This is Embrace Your Inner Boldness, a podcast about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. I'm Melissa Henning-Frank, coach, guide, and founder of Becoming Bold. I help you strip away the conditioning, reclaim your voice, and rise into the power that's always been yours. Let's get right to it. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today we're exploring a very human pattern. So on one end of the boldness spectrum are the people who shrink, hold back, overfilter, or edit themselves because they give way too many F's about what people will think, say, or do. On the other end are the people who burst into every space loudly, unfiltered, unintentionally steamrolling everyone in their path. And between those two extremes is the bold middle, the place where you can be your true self with intention. What's fascinating is that both of these extremes probably come from similar backgrounds: pain, trauma, conditioning, programming, most of it subconscious. Nobody wakes up one day and decides, I'm going to silence myself forever. And nobody wakes up and chooses, I'm going to bulldoze over everyone I love. These patterns are survival strategies. We learn them early, and unless we slow down and become aware, we carry them into adulthood, onto the shop floor, into boardrooms, into relationships, into our parenting, into every pocket of our lives without realizing it. If you grew up needing to stay small in order to stay safe, you learned to read the room before you read yourself. You became a master at anticipating reactions. You filtered your thoughts, your emotions, your instincts, because the world taught you that your truth was dangerous, inconvenient, or unwanted. So now as an adult, you shrink, you swallow your ideas, you wait for permission, you press pause so often that your voice forgets how to play. And if you grew up in chaos, unpredictability, or environments where being loud was the only way to be seen, you learned to command space. You learned to speak first, speak fast, and speak forcefully because it kept you in control. You learned that vulnerability didn't get you anywhere, so you armored up. And now the armor shows up as dominance, intensity, urgency, a need to be right, or a need to be heard at all costs. Both are trauma responses. Both are fear, but wearing different masks. And both are completely understandable. But understandable doesn't mean unchangeable. Which is why self-awareness is the doorway into what I will call the bold middle. Let me be the example for a second. I hold back from saying what I naturally want to say sometimes. And when I do, it's not always self-silencing. Sometimes it's wisdom. Because our first thought is our automatic thought, the one shaped by all of the unhealed parts of us. That first thought doesn't always come from our grounded, intentional self. So no, boldness isn't blurting everything that crosses your mind. Boldness isn't shrinking either. Boldness is choosing your voice on purpose. So let's bring this into your real life at work and at home. Think about the rooms you walk into. Think about the dynamics. Think about the people you interact with every single day. Where do you shrink yourself? Where do you clam up because your body expects judgment? Who makes you feel like your truth is too heavy or too loud? And is it actually helping you or others if you stay quiet? Is it protecting peace? Or is it just feeding the fear that you don't belong? Now flip it. Who's the bulldozer? The one who talks over people, the one who dominates decisions, the one who doesn't notice the emotional trail that they leave behind. That behavior is usually a shield for unhealed pain. They mistake power for safety. They lead with ego because vulnerability once cost them something. Now take a breath because I'm about to turn the mirror towards you one more time. If you're the one who shrinks, this is your permission slip to stop disappearing. You were never meant to be background noise, so step it the fuck up. Your voice matters. If you're the bulldozer, this is your moment to soften and listen. Your power isn't the problem. Your unhealed pain is the problem. Healing will shift you from intimidating to influential. And for both ends of the spectrum, this didn't happen by accident. The patterns are old, the behavior is automatic, the origin is subconscious, which means you don't get free by trying harder, you get free by becoming aware. So let's do a quick environment scan together. Ask yourself, who do I feel most like myself around and why? Who encourages the real me to show up? Who triggers me into shrinking? And what does that pattern remind me of? Who triggers me into overcompensating or dominating? And what wound is being poked? Where am I filtering myself unnecessarily? Where am I pushing too hard? What boundaries have I been avoiding? Whose reactions am I protecting myself from? And does that protection still serve me? Who are the people who help me breathe easier? Who drains me? Some of these answers will point you towards relationships that really need honesty. Some will point you towards boundaries you've been afraid to set. Some will point you toward your own healing. All of them will point you toward the bold middle. When you heal, your ego steps back. Your compassion expands. Your presence becomes a gift. You become bold for the greatest good of all and harm to none. So here's your challenge this week. Notice your patterns. Notice your extremes. Notice the rooms where you disappear and the rooms where you dominate. Both are invitations. Both are teachers. Both are openings to something truer. And ask yourself, if my boldness came from my healed self instead of my wounded self, what would change? What would that look like and sound like? That is your work. That is your power. And that is where your real boldness begins. I'd love to support you on your journey to finding your bold middle. If you don't know yet, my personal impact coaching and team effectiveness workshops will help you go from frustration and exhaustion to clarity and confidence. So don't let another day go by tolerating less than you deserve. Let's talk. Get on a free 30-minute coaching over coffee with me. And until next time, please be kind to your mind. That's it for today's episode of Embrace Your Inner Boldness. If this stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Screenshot this episode, tag me at Becoming Bold LLC, and share it with someone else who's ready to rise. And hey, if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe, rate, and review the show. That's how we spread the boldness and keep this movement growing. Whatever came up for you today, feel the fear and do it anyway. You don't need to wait for perfect timing or permission. You are powerful. You are ready. And remember, the only limit to your boldness is the one you set for yourself. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep becoming you.